Hi guys, so welcome back to the channel. My name is Abatan Sheriffdeen and welcome back to Excel Island Livestream. So on this channel, basically what I've been doing so far for the past 89 days is I've been upskilling myself as a freelance data analyst using the resources on the Datacamp platform to learn more about SQL. So I decided to go on decided to go on a 100 days learning journey just to upskill myself on SQL on the Datacamp platform. And today is day 89. And the amazing part is that I just completed all the old lessons on the Datacamp platform in the SQL career track category. So as today is day 89, we are starting the guided project on the platform. So welcome along. So if I show you what the guided project looks like, as you are enrolled in data analysis in SQL. If I go to the tracks here, career track, and I want to show you what the track looks like. Well, let me reload the page. So while that is coming up, let me tell you a little bit about myself. So I'm currently a top rated plus freelance data analyst on the Upwork platform. I've had major success on the platform for the past years of my freelancing career, and that is due to the influence of a coach, someone who has actually been guiding me through the freelancing business, showing me the ropes and how to survive in the freelancing world. So his name is Benga DBE, and he currently has a course called the Freelance Client Magnet course. And what this course does is that it teaches you also to become a successful freelancer and run a successful freelancing business on major platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, LinkedIn, or even using remote job websites. So I'll leave a link to the course under the YouTube description. Do make sure to check it out. So back here, this has come up. You can see the data analyst in SQL career track. I've completed the whole courses in the career track. If I click on it, let me show you what it looks like. I have no idea why this is taking time to come up. Yeah, it's up. So currently, the career track has been updated. If you check all my previous live stream, the career track actually contains 11 courses with one project. Now it contains two projects, I think, which is cool. I see new track version. I have to switch to the new version to start on this live stream, and I think that is a cool feature there. I see the career track actually contains 11 courses. You can see, as you can see from here, 11 courses. Then this is the first project, and this is the second project. So for the remainder of the 10 days, which is today's day 89, for the remainder of the 11 days, we'll be solving the SQL guided project on the Datacamp platform. So that's an interesting thing to do because we've learned a lot of theory, a little bit of practical also from those lessons. If I go back to the progress dashboard here, I'll just switch to that new version of the course, the updated version of the course on the Datacamp platform, and we start learning. So track updates, if I click on that, I think it should take me back to that. So this was the old track, the old project that was there. I would have loved to take that, but I just love to take the new version, which I think would be cool, would be much more cooler and interesting. Come on, come on. Okay, you can see you are enrolled in an older version of this track. Would you like to enroll in this improved version? So what's new? Two projects have been added to this track and one project was removed. I think that was the old project that was right. So let's switch to the new version and see. So if I click on switch now, hold up. Let's also reload this one more time. This is cool. So let's switch. You can see I've completed the whole courses. 11 course completed, 0 in progress, 0 to go. What is left is the project. So let's switch to the new version. Cool, we are switching. Congratulations, you already completed all courses in the data analysis in SQL track. So, ooh, okay. So congratulations on completing our data analysis in SQL track. As the next step in your learning journey, prove your skills are job ready with an industry recognized Datacamp certification. But I still need to take the projects. So let's see. Probably part of analyzing motorcycle part sales. Okay, let's see this one. Analyzing students' mental health in SQL. Use skills gained from intermediate SQL to perform exploratory data analysis on a data set around students' mental health. I think that is interesting. This is saying use skills gained in the data analysis in SQL career track to derive insight about motorcycle part sales over time across multiple warehouse sites. I think we should go for the first one. The first certification, I think we should go for this one first. Syllabus completed 13 items. Let's try this. Analyzing student mental health. Let's give it a shot. Ooh. Okay. Premium projects. Says analyzing student mental health in SQL. Use skills gained from intermediate SQL to perform exploratory data analysis on a data set around student mental health. Start project. One task. Okay. Project description. Studying abroad can be both exciting and difficult, but what may be contributing to this? One university decided to find out. Use your PostgreSQL skills to explore student database from an international university and find out what factors may impact student mental health. I think the student database project tasks. Use SQL to analyze data and build a project that has a specific solution with guided tasks. Okay, let's start. Data management, intermediate SQL. Let's start the project. Okay, let's give it a shot. So welcome to Workspace Notebooks. Watch this start video to learn how to use work instruction. I think that's the first thing we need to do. We need to read the project instruction to get acquainted. Then we have the submission tags here, the resources, okay, the guides, and the solution. You want to avoid showing solution. Very, very important. Avoid coming to this place. Get your hand dirty and see. Okay, it says explore, analyze the students' data to see how the study research, okay, the study reach its conclusion and gain a better understanding of it. So this project will take you through some exploratory analysis before investigating a specific factor for international students. So the final query is the only part of your code that will be tested. So your project will follow these exploratory steps. Start by counting all the records in the data, then all the records per student type to see how the records are categorized and scored. Okay, let's do that first. Counting, that sounds familiar. We're definitely using the count star function there. And it says start by counting all the records in the data, then all record per student type to see how the records are categorized and scored. It now says filter the data to see how it differs between the student types. Find the summary statistics of the diagnostic text for all students using aggregate functions, aggregate function, rounding the test scores to 2 decimal places, remembering to use aliases. Repeat this to summarize the data for international student only. Your final query, okay. So your final query, See if length of stay impacts the average diagnostic scores rounded to 2 decimal places for international students, and order the result by descending order of the length of stay. So the final output of your query with aliases will have a total 9 observation rows and 4 columns, stay, average, and average as in that order. Note, creating new cells in workspace will rename the data frame. Make sure that your final solution uses the name diff. Okay, df dot. Okay, note, creating new cells in the workspace will rename the data frame. So you have to be careful of that. Okay, so let's start. Data frame available as diff, data frame and CSV. So we can get access to data frame, so I can test all my code in my own machine on my local system. Okay, let's start. So does going to university in a different country affect your mental health? So a Japanese international university surveyed its students in 2018 and published a study the following year that was approved by several ethical and regulatory boards. The study found that international students have a higher risk of mental health difficulties than the general population, and that social connectedness, belonging to a social group, and acculturative stress associated with joining a new culture. Okay, acculturative, is it not acculturative or culturative stress? That is stress associated with joining a new culture are predictive of depression. Explore the student data using PostgreSQL to find out if you would come to a similar conclusion for international students, and see if the length of stay is a contributing factor. Here is the data description of the columns you may find helpful. So you have the international dorm, probably the dorm of the international students. This is types of students, international or domestic. Okay. Japanese category, Japanese language proficiency, English category, English language proficiency, current academic level, either undergraduate or graduate, age of the students, stay, current length of stay in years, to department, total scores of depression. Okay, total score of depression in PHQ 9. I don't know that value. To SC, total score of social connectedness, and to as total score of acculturative stress. So run this code to save the CSV file as students. Select star from student. You're definitely selecting audio star from the students table. Audio record. Okay, we want to view audio record from the student.csv table. CSV file. What's this? Comments. Okay, this is the comment section. AI. Delete. I'm not deleting. So I want to run the code. Let's run the code and see. Aha. So this is what our, so this is a single table. Interesting. We are starting low data frame.csv. So there are other database here that we can play with. Okay. Data frame. Okay. Interesting. So we have the whether the student is international or domestic. The region is there region here? There's no region here. Okay. Hey, data frame. Why they didn't list all the whole columns there. Also have the gender, the academic, the age category. Okay, we can sort it ascending or descending. The stay. Okay. Okay, the column. We have more columns to the what? To the right. Others, international bio. So definitely we may not need all the O columns in our exploratory data analysis. But if you go back to the first instruction, so the first instruction says your project will follow these exploratory steps. Start by counting all the records in the data. So let's count all the records in the data. Okay. Okay, I could just start coding here. So I could just comment that, okay, my comments will be count. I love to count. We hope you're enjoying our new project interface. Please take a moment to provide feedback later. You're disturbing my project. Start by counting all the records in the data. Okay. So the first instruction, why is my code interface changing? Okay. So counting, does it count all counting all records? So we just start with that, as simple as that. So I can just say select, now we count star from students.csv, students, let's see, okay, let's run the code and see. It is still loading. Ooh, it is still loading. Do I have to wait for it to load? Okay, this is the total. I think this is total here, 286. Okay, I could give it an alias just to make it as, I can call it number of records. So number of records. Let's run it one more time and see. I think that's much better. So that is the first step. So start by counting all the records in data, then all records per student type. Per student type, you can see, okay, let's check student type. I think there's a column called stay current length of to per student type of student. Okay, if we want to count the number of international students we have and the number of domestic students we have. Okay, that's cool. So let's add a new, how do I add a new cell? Put in my database there. Okay, files there. Okay, I think mental health student CSV here. Okay, I can even download it and make it available later. That's interesting. Okay, let's continue. Okay, I see the plus button somewhere here right now. Okay, I'm not doing a chart, I'm doing a table view. Okay, okay, I don't, okay, I can add a new line of code here. Okay, I want to add, what should we call this one? Let's see. Use type core SQL. Let me see. So the next one, next instruction is then all record per student type. Okay. Number of records per student type. Let's call it per student type. Okay, now we can run our code now and see we are selecting now per student type. Then we need to look for a column called okay, interdom. Select interdom. Let's select inter underscore dom. Then count the number of records we have in our table. That should be from students .csv. Since we are using an aggregate function there, we are definitely grouping by group by interdom. Let me check if I spell the column correct. Inter underscore dom. Let's see that. Let's give this an alias. I think they encourage us to give it an alias. So let's run this code. Oh, so there's an error somewhere. Students. Available as df. I was told not to change something here. Let's run that one more time. Let me see what's happening here. It's okay, instead of a table, getting data from a file. What was my error? This is not funny. So select interdom count star as record counts from students. Oh, from students. If I'm using okay, in this place I'm using okay, hold up. I think I was that made the mistake. Let's see first. Let me delete this line of code first. If I'm using I was using the Python. This one is Python interface. Let me delete this first. If I add a new interface, earlier I added SQL. Let me add a Python interface now. Let me now see. Okay. It's not even showing me this green check mark. Oh, okay, I understand better now. Since I'm using SQL, I'm using SQL. Let me go for SQL. Oh, better. So from students, count as record counts. Go by interdom. Okay, let's run this one more time now. Interesting. You can see the total. We have no values here. There are some records that are nil. 201. This is 268. 268 plus 18. That should give us 286. So that is correct. So we have actually done the second questions. Then all the records per student type to see how the records are categorized and scored. How the records are categorized. So this is how it was categorized and scored. What do I mean by scored? Now we want us to return one more column there. Is there a column called score? Enter down. Okay, score. Total score of depression. Definitely I'll be returning this score to total score of depression. Okay, so where is that? Let's see. To score. This is it. So to score, you are definitely going to be adding let's add the name. Let's say sum. We want to was sum to score. This column CUSO as what? So we want it then all record per student type to see how the records are categorized and scored. You can call it total score, total depression. So let's run this one more time. Let's see. Oh, come on, come on. Oh, okay, I don't have a comma here. I'm missing a comma there. Aha. Total depression. You can see total depression for international students is 7521. For domestic students is 2522. Probably international students are more depressed. We can conclude like that. It's starting to get interesting. Look, let's add another line of code. Definitely SQL. Number of record per student and total depression score. That's interesting to know. Now the next one is filter the data to see how it differs between student type. Filter the data to see how it differs. From filtering, I'll be using where to filter. That means I can filter for international student first, then for dorm student first. Filter the data. I'm trying to figure out how to answer that questions. Filter the data to see how it differs between student types. Okay. I can also just copy my previous code here. Okay. Let me make it easier and faster. I'll copy the whole code with the comments, then filter the data to see how it differs. Okay. Now if I say from students, can I say where inter_dorm is equal to, since it's the dorm is, let me check that column, either international or domestic. It's only showing the first. Let me sort it descending and see. Oh, let's sort it ascending. We have no there. I'm looking for the contents. Is it DOM? Okay, DOM is that it is in inter and DOM. That it is inter. Okay, let's say where inter DOM is equal to inter. Let's run the code and see. Come on. In the form clause. If I'm filtering, I could filter with the where clause there now. Exactly. So filter the data to see how it differs between student types. Mm, mm. I'm trying to figure out this section. Number of filter the data to see how it differs from filtering. Hold up. Let me use help though. Oh, I was using two double quotes there. I was the one. So my mistake was using two double quotes instead of single quotes. Okay, let's see that. Hmm. Why? So select enter DOM. I'm only filtering for this column here. Inter INTR. I should be able to filter exactly. Random count stars record from students. Okay, let me comment this place out and run the code. You can see inter. I have inter here, so why can't I filter there? Where inter underscore DOM equals to inter. Filter the data to see how it differs between the student types. Between the student types. Student types. Mm, let's see that. How do we get close? Is it turning error here? 0. There's a saying that you can't use, if I want to filter, let's say having, let's use having to filter here. I doubt it's going to work. It's going to return zeros. Because if you're using go by, you'll be filtering with having clause. But it doesn't mean I could filter with a where clause also. Okay. Let me look at it, guys. This is saying count the number of records in the data set to confirm you have the expected number of records. Then see how many records you have for each student type. Use the alias total records and count interdom. Count interdom. So counting records. I got the first two line of codes. Use the alias total records. Okay, I can use total records here. So use the alias total records. Yeah, that's correct. For the second one, say count interdom. You can use count interdom here. Let's copy this. But total depression. So the second instruction says then all record per student type to see how the records are categorized and scored. So total, okay, this one also makes sense. So I got that. Count interdom, total depression. Now I'm stuck at this second part here of the question. I know there are only 5 questions. So filter to understand the data type, the data for each student type. So explore the data for each student type in interdom by doing these queries that by doing 3 queries that filter for the 2 student types, represented in the table, as well as the student with unknown status. Exactly what I'm doing though. Okay, let me move to group by. Okay, let's do this first. Now let's see. Say filter to understand the data for each student type. For each student type. Okay, for each student type. Okay, let's delete the count. We are not counting. Okay, let me use select star here. Select star. Then I can just say where interdom inter underscore dom is equal to inter. Let's see if that is going to work. It definitely should work, probably because initially I was using small letter I instead of capital letter I. Let's see that. So this record is only for what? The inter. I think that's what they say. Filter to understand the data for each student type. Understanding data for each student type. Filter for each student type. For each student type. So this is the inter dom type. You can see for each student type, we have the region stuff. So this is interesting. Now let's look at for other student type. So I could add one more line of code here. Let's add one more filter for each student type. We can call this for inter student type. For international student, let's say for international student type. Then we could call this for domestic student type. You can change this one to DOM. Let's see that. These are for domestic student type, rather. Then the last one is for the null records there. For the null records there. Let's do that for the null records. We'll add SQL code there. For null records. Calling for null records. Okay, let's call this null. Yeah, they didn't categorize those students. Let me see. Let's use small letter n there. We are still receiving rows. If I go back to the main data set here, I think I have null. If I saw descending, see we have null record here. We have no. So probably it doesn't want to return that though. You can see we have null records there. Well, I may probably just ignore that. Or I could just say where is null. I could just use the null function there. Aha, you can see the null records there. That's smart. So we've answered this second. I'm not even showing, I don't want to show ints. I want to try to solve it for without ints. So filter to understand data type, to understand the data for each student type. So we've done that. Filtering with wildcards, filtering records. We can use wildcards. Yeah, we use wildcards though. Now query. So let's do one more stop. We are like 40 minutes to the live streams trying to solve this challenge, this project, guided projects. So let's do one more stop. Let's try this third question. So query, the next one said, find the summary statistics of the diagnostic text for all students using aggregate function. Okay, let's look for a column called diagnostic text. Okay, where is that? Diagnostic text. If I look for the column here called see this. Is there a column called diagnostic text? Depression. We want to do the summary statistics. Definitely probably want to do the marks, mean, average. Definitely that's what they mean. But let me look at the guides. It said narrow down the results down further to see the summary statistics for international students only through filtering and grouping. Only. So I have to filter for only international students through filtering and grouping. Oh, that's interesting. Hold up. Okay, I'm here. I'm on the third question, not the fourth question. So find the summary statistics for each diagnostic test using aggregate function. Round the average to two decimal places and see and use alias mean PHQ, max PHQ, and average PHQ. Repeat this structure for all tests, SCs and SCS and AS. Which column are SCS and AS? Let me look at that. SCS, okay, SCS and AS. That is the total score of accretive stress and the total score of social connectedness. We want to see the minimum, the maximum, and the average for what. Oh, that's interesting. But I think we should stop here today. Let's go back to the progress dashboard and see. Hmm, my progress should have been saved. Let me check it one more time. My code should be saved. Definitely saved. Aha. Because it will be scary coming back here tomorrow and finding all my code deleted. So I'll have to stop here today. Alright, so thanks for staying to the end of the live stream. So if you found value in this video and the guided project, do support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you'll be the first to know whenever I go live or try to drop new content on the channel. Also, do not forget to check out the freelance clients magnet course by my coach Benga DBE. I'll leave a link to the course under the YouTube description. And of course, I'll see you on tomorrow's live stream where we'll finish the other questions in the guided projects and move on to the second guided project, definitely which will get more intense. All right, do have a wonderful day and peace out.